Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt with Suck My Mod. So, if some of you haven't noticed yet, there's kind of been this trend going on the last couple months, maybe a month or two. It's a really awesome trend, I think, and that is American modders and even some other modders are now making devices that are a little more budget friendly. They're coming out with like a budget line, which is something I've been preaching for a while. So that's awesome. You got mods coming out like the Colonial, Beyond Vape Sage. I think Aethertech has a new one coming out. And there's a few more. Oh, the Doomsday mod. That's one too. So today we're going to check out another one from Beyond Vape. This one's even less expensive than the Sage. So let's take a look at the Beyond Vape Beacon. All right, so this is the Beyond Vape Beacon. It's a telescopic mod. It's an original design. It's $65, right? I mean, that's crazy. Great deal. It's made out of aluminum and stainless steel. It's made quite nicely, like most Beyond Vape products are. They really just they do really good quality stuff. And I think I'll get this out of the way right now. A lot of that stems from QC. They are having stuff manufactured in their own manufacturing plants. They have one in China. They have a CNC shop in China and a CNC shop in the States. Some of these mods get made in China. Some of them get in the States. So when you get a beacon, you just, you're going to get it from one of those shops, but they're all going to be the same. So they have better quality control. They're not just like subbing it out to some shop that they don't have control over. They have, really good QC going on. And that is just something that's really badass. This mod is, another budget mod that they developed. It's made for like a newbie. Like if you want to get your first mechanical mod, this would be a great one to get. In fact, if someone comes to me from now on and says, I want my first mechanical mod, I got, if they can afford the $65 and they're not, are willing to not get a clone, I would say the Beacon is for you. Definitely for you. It performs well. It's really easy to adjust. It's made well. I mean, it's great for someone that's not a beginner too. If you just want a telescopic mod, it's great. Now, I didn't do the voltage drop test. Beyond Vape did some, and they told me about it because I don't have these mods, but they put it against other telescopic mods. Blew like the K100 out of the water. I guess it beat like the Sentinel, the Beast, some other Filipino mods. I forget what. And it performs well. Silver plated contacts, aluminum body here, and then I think these two pieces are aluminum, and then it's got stainless top and bottom caps. I mean, that's great. You pair it with like the Vulcan RDA, which is also $60, and you got like $125 authentic setup, minus the drip tip, of course. That's kind of a more expensive drip tip, but $125 like for an authentic setup. If somebody would have said that like last year to get an authentic setup like this for that cheap, no one would believe you. So if you're just getting into like vaping right now, you've come at a good time because some of these really nice products are starting to get lower in price. You got quality, you got customer service because Beyond Vape is obviously in the States. And so it's just great. I'm not trying to like have a Beyond Vape commercial. I'm an independent reviewer. There's plenty of products that I like out there that aren't made by Beyond Vape. But like somebody on our Facebook page put it really well the other day when I posted a picture of this. He said he nominates Beyond Vape for, the 2014 Company of the Year. So far, I can't disagree with them. When they had the Neptune, which was awesome. They had the Sage. They have a badass, high-end copper mod coming out. That's the Oros. They have a $175 DNA mod coming out. They have their own Clearamizer coming out. I mean, these guys are freaking doing a lot of shit. So it's very impressive. Back to the mod. It's got the same button as the Neptune. It's, a recessed button that still sticks out a little bit. It's pretty stiff. You can set it down without locking it. It's also got the little locking ring there. it flushes out the top. I'll show you the top cap up close, but the way the top cap's made, a 22 millimeter Addy will still kind of flush out with it, so it gives it like a nice clean look, if you can see that. Yeah, I'm not going to gush anymore because I'm annoying myself. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go down low and check it out. All right, so here is the packaging for the Beacon. Same Beyond Vape box that we all kind of know now. Neptune comes in it, the Sage comes in it. Very cool. They have a really nice packaging always. It comes in this little, has this little sleeve here. So that's neat. Let's get that out of the way. Let's open the box. In it, you will find your authenticity card. It has your serial number. Yes, $65 mod. That is serial numbered. That is freaking awesome. This one is $9.83. Put that aside, and then you pull it out, and there you go. All right, so here is the Beacon. It's a telescopic mod. It's out in like, 18650 right now. If you don't know what a telescopic mod is, it's a mod that adjusts for different battery sizes this way by, screwing these guys together. So I haven't tried an 18350 battery on this yet, but I imagine it's going to look, something like this, maybe close to being all the way touching. Really good looking. Now, aircraft grade, what is it, T6 aluminum is the body, the tube. The end caps are stainless. The button, as you can see, is the same style button that's on the Neptune, which I really liked. It's got a nice feel to it. So I'm not going to take this apart. It's pretty simple. Just a spring in there and the contact, which I'll show you on the inside. So, adjusting for battery rattle and stuff on a telescopic mod is easy because all you have to do is twist these things until it's tight. So let's look at the top cap here. Silver-plated brass contacts. There is some, like a little drip well type thing in there, and then you got these slots for airflow. Now, why I really like this is a lot of telescopic mods, they don't exactly flush out. But as you can see here, yeah, it's wider. It's probably about 24 millimeters here on the outside of this. But then it kind of goes in and goes up. So 22 millimeter Addies flush out with that edge right there. So it gives it a really nice finished look. I'll put one on here in a second. But I really, really like that in telescopic mods because one of my biggest problems is like, you got like the Sentinel or something and like an Addy sits on there. And it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't like have that finished seamless look, and this just kind of goes in, swoops up, and it flushes out with the outside there. Black anodized tubes. There is a gray one also, and I think also a red one. Here's the gray one real quick. This is Vanessa's little setup. She loves this mod. Looks cool with her pink tugboat. Look at that drip tip, guys. That's what happens when you wear a bunch of lip gloss and you vape. And I mean, she does this crap to all my drip tips. That's another video altogether. So on this, you got vent holes in the tube here. Let's take it all apart. The threading on this is really, really nice. They call it precision threading. It doesn't have a bunch of play in it, which I like. I'll show you why, like when I put a battery in it. But usually they say, the more precision threading it is, like the less voltage drop, which is cool. So, there's your top cap and part of the body right there. Now, here's your tube here. Really lightweight because it's aluminum, but it doesn't feel like cheap or anything. So there's your battery tube. I forgot to say, but I cut my finger cooking today, and this is the only Band-Aid in the house, so don't make fun of me too bad. But yeah, it's sparkly. Okay, so anyway, looking at the bottom piece here with the switch, it's got a reverse threaded lock ring, which is nice, just like the Neptune. Switch is it's got a really firm throw on it, so you could set this down without locking it, no problem. I like that. I mean, it's a pretty short throw when you have an Addy on there and a battery, but it's not a bad filling switch at all. There is the contact, silver-plated brass again. It's got a little piece of Delrin, and your battery sits on there, and then when you fire, your contact goes up and makes connections. So easy peasy. Again, on the button, it does show your serial number right there, which is very cool. $65 mod that's serial numbered. I mean, that's great. So putting it back together, you would just screw this thing on, screw this tube in. Now I will show you how to put an Addy on real quick. Here is that Vulcan RDA that I was telling you about. This is the contact. So you just adjust this. I have juice on my hands right now, but you could just adjust this by hand, loosen it up, then screw your Addy on, and then you just tighten this up until it makes connection. So it's making connection there, and you're good to go. Then we can put this piece on. Oops, that goes this way. We'll put our battery in, a Sony VTC5. You screw this guy on. I like to make it so the holes right here are perfectly centered. And then you just tighten this until, well, those are kind of centered. But yeah, you tighten this until the battery's tight in there. Super easy. That's why this is a good mod for beginners. They don't have to adjust with like a second pin to adjust for battery rattle or anything like that. And I mean, it looks sweet with this Vulcan. You see in there how it flushes out with that top little piece of the top cap there, how it kind of goes up and in. I mean, it looks really nice on there. So let's fire it. Firing nicely. As you can see, once the Addy's on there, it doesn't have much of a throw. Also, the logo right here, it is just like it's an anodized tube, and then the logo feels pretty flat to the tube. It's like that's anodized too or something. It's got like a little lighthouse in there, and then the name Beacon. So yeah, that's about all there is to this mod. It's super simple. So let's go ahead and go back up top and vape it and talk about it. All right, so V has joined us. She feels strongly about this mod, so she wanted to talk to everybody about it. I think everyone's going to make fun of me about my sparkly Band-Aid. Like I said, 65 bucks. I think it's a great deal. I think it's a great mod for like a beginner for their first mechanical mod. They don't want to buy a clone. I mean, it's something that's awesome. She got the gray one. She loves it.
I do love it.
So, there's not really much else to say about it. As far as how it hits, it performs really well. I don't think it hits as hard as like my Brass Sage mod, but I do think that it does really well. One thing I did want to bring out too is that because these threads are so fine, it doesn't have that kind of wiggle in these two, the top and bottom piece, that other telescoping mods have, where you tighten it, but then it kind of has a little bit of a wiggle where you can move the piece back and forth. So anyway, that's about it. What do you think?
I absolutely love this thing. I like, at first I really like the black one, but with the pink tugboat, I just think that it looks better. The button is very similar to the Neptune, which I really like. It's one of those recess buttons where you can just set it on the table and you don't have to lock it in order to make it not fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's recessed. It does stick out a little bit, but it's got this, a tight enough throw on it that it's not going to press down easily.
I like the way that it feels in my hands. It's very light like the Neptune, and I like the telescopic feature in it. I think that's pretty cool. And
yeah, it's a good mod. Like for her, she doesn't have to like go and fuck with the, battery rattle and stuff. You don't have to like mess with the little pin inside. She likes stuff that's just easy that she can just pick up and vape. So as far as mechanicals, it's great for that.